Come on.
Real people, real celebrities, real talk.
Join the Breakfast Club.
Blast off in your ear.
Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
I would love to get your take on something that we've been discussing at work a lot. When people get successful, some of our artists, they leave where they came from and they're like, don't go back, to the hood because it's dangerous. You don't want to go there. Just stay away. No reason to be there. And I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, if that's the attitude, that's a bad attitude. What do you mean? I can't go back to where I came from, where I was nurtured, so I've got money and I want to live in a better a neighborhood, live in a bigger home. There's nothing wrong with that. But what happens when we are like that, we don't see our connection and go back and lift that community out of which we emerged. Elijah Muhammad said this, and I say this to our president, my dear brother, Elijah Muhammad said, no one man can rise above the condition of his people. You have become the president of the United States and went on television to start tweeting. And how did they treat you? They called you at every turn. They talked about you, talked about your wife, talked about your children. You cannot escape being who you are, no matter what kind of power you think you have. Soon you'll be coming back home. We'll make you a real president of a real nation that I think you can lead in a better direction. The black nation is coming up. We want a nation of our own, and we will have it by the grace of God.
Well,
Come on home.
What I like to say is, you got to get out, you got to give back, and you got to strive to make it better. Because I feel like, it is dangerous for young brothers like us when you do get to a certain level, because you do have certain people that we grew up with who do want to cause us harm. So we just can't be out there hanging on the corner, hanging in the hood like that.
Right. I mean, see, what has happened to us, brother? See, when you make it, the question is now, how are we making it? It's like 50 crabs in a barrel. One crab trying to get up, and another one pulls it down. But the barrel maker and the crab master, he go in the barrel and pull a crab up and put it on the top of the barrel and make the other crabs think you can get there too. And what they do, they use the successful ones to lead us to think that America is for us, that as I made it, you too can make it. Stop telling that lie. When you are a great basketball player, you're a great basketball player in a plantation owned by your enemy, and you're a rich slave. Did you see the brothers running up and down trying to make it into the NFL? Well, what was that? That's like your great-great-grandfather standing on an auction block. Show me your muscle. Oh, this is a strong. And you run around, squeeze his behind and look at his muscle. Oh, how much can I get for this one? That's what you are today. You're nothing but a show horse. I'm not putting you down. I love you. But don't you ever think that these people that make you millionaires love you. They give it to you, and 5 years after you are out of the league, you're broke, you're busted, you're sick. No, none of them will ever teach you how to marshal your money. They pool their resources and buy up things that make a difference, create jobs. You use your money to put something in the hood that is your giving back, a little basketball court or a little community center. We applaud you for that, but we would applaud you more if you say, brother, how many million you got? I got a few, you got a few, you got a few. Let's pool our money and buy up America, since America is for sale. How are you going to create jobs and all this land is out here ready to be bought, and we don't pool our money and buy real value, which is real estate. And the real estate is land. From the land comes everything. So yes, brother, they prey on you because when you come home, you got money. And so your homies, hey, Charlamagne, man, you know, man, you're making it. I'm glad you're making it, brother. You know how we do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're making it, brother, but you know I have a little problem. I need a little help.
Absolutely.
And everybody now that know you need the same kind of help.
And if you don't do it, you're not real. Oh, he ain't real no
now,
more.
Now you done grown up and walked away from us, and now you think you better than us?
He done changed on us.
See? And then they attack you. That's what they did with our brother from the Celtics.
Antoine Walker?
Yes. See, and they do it to rappers as well. But you know why they do that? Because you have and they don't. And the enemy makes you the buffer between their wicked machinations, using our sports figures, our entertainers. They give you, what they call it, endorsements, right? All right, now, on my shoe, if it's a Nike, my brother Michael is on it. Where's it made? Made overseas. How much did it cost? So you got young brown people, yellow people, black people making Nike for $8 or $9, and it's coming back here, and you go in the shopping mall. What do you pay for your shoes?
$200.
See? So everybody's making a profit, and Nike think well, you know, Michael, we gave him a big endorsement. But Nike ain't giving nothing to black people. That's why when I say or else, there got to be a way to make them responsible to the people who make them rich. You know, if you go to church, they raven expect you. Yes, brother, come on, and, you know, tithing is 10% of what the Lord bless you with. Well, tithing should be 10% of what we, the Lords, bless these major companies with. But as long as a few individuals get fat, the masses still stay poor and skinny. We got to change that reality, and that's why we're going to Washington to say it's justice or else.
What can we do, like when we're in positions where we do work for these companies? What should we be doing with the resources we get from these companies? What the money from these companies, basically?
We should learn the value of pooling our resources. As an individual, we can't do much. Right now, Magic Johnson is a very rich brother. But Magic didn't put up all those Starbucks. Magic was called in to bring his money to join with others with money, and they put up Starbucks. He's a partner in that he gets something. I want to shout out to my brother, Mayweather. I really admire my brother. Now just think about this, Mayweather. Money, 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 Mayweather. Look here, Brother Money. As long as Bob Arum had you, he was making the money. Give you something, but look at what happened when you dumped him. You wanted to fight with De La Hoya, and you asked this man for $20 million. He said, no, that kind of money don't even exist. See, the white man will always tell you that crap to keep you satisfied with nothing while they take everything for themselves. That's why you don't hear them going broke. You don't hear them with their children not able to get a decent education. They suck the blood out of you black people to maintain a heavy, high lifestyle. And they don't buy Bugattis, or what do you call that car?
Bugatti, you right.
Yeah, Bugatti. But look, my dear brother, I noticed that Warren Buffett was coming around you. I know he's a very wise man in business. But I know these people are looking at you and the money that you have amassed. They don't love you. In fact, they really hate the fact that you could dump Bob Arum and now are running 500 million, 600 million, going toward $1 billion that you made on your own. They didn't give you no endorsements. They didn't give you nothing. So they can tell you that maybe you can't read or you can't write, but you can think. And you outthought them. Michael Jackson, your brother, he outthought them. He became dangerous because he owned the catalog of Elvis Presley and the Beatles. And all they were trying to do was take it from him. And they want to take your wealth. Please, brother, be careful, because when they ask you to invest, and you invest in Burger King, don't do that, brother. They ain't not feeding your people well. You would die probably in 60 days if you just ate Burger King. So don't give your people what you can't use yourself. So, Mr. Buffett, I'm surprised at you guiding my brother like that. I think, brother, if they try to get you to invest in stocks and bonds, be careful, brother. Because if the stock market crash, all your money go down the tube. No, man, let's invest in land. Get as much as we can, because from the land comes food, clothing, shelter. Everything we need comes out of the earth like we do. So I just want to shout out to you, brother. Don't let the bloodsuckers come near you now, because you are a wise man who became rich without their assistance, but with the skillful use of your mind. Don't go to sleep because rich white people say they like you.
Well, you know, Minister, one of the reasons Mayweather don't get a lot of endorsements is because of his criminal history.
Oh, that's bull. Excuse me.
That's all right. It's all right.
Talk, brother.
It's all right. It's the Breakfast Club. Anything goes. It's all right. It's all right.
We're gonna earn our title. The title is the world's most dangerous morning show. We're gonna earn it this morning.
No, brother, that's BS. I have to say this, man. You know, Brother Kennedy, his father was in bootlegging. Joe Kennedy. Was that criminal behavior back in those days when it was prohibition? Yeah, that's right. So he made a lot of money. So did Dutch Schultz. He was a Jewish criminal. He died peacefully with all his money. Now, you mean to tell me if we get in a little trouble, you're not going to give me an endorsement with all the criminal behavior? See, but
Mayweather have 5 domestic violence charges now against women. That's
really?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, that's too bad. Man, look, some of them that's charging you, I mean, look, man, you really need a lawyer. I ain't talking about a punk lawyer. You need a man like me to go to bat for you. Because, look, what's the brother's name that they just let back in the league?
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson.
And he got to, I've learned, my lesson. Man, shut up. You beat that behind. My behind was beat many times.
Yeah.
And I'm not too bad. I ain't never been arrested, but that may change. But you want to arrest me for drugs or for criminal activity. You'll arrest me for speaking truth to power. you'll arrest me for uniting our people, and if necessary, we'll do what is necessary to be done in order to pass on to our next generation the freedom that we've never had and the justice that we've never had. Keep doing what you're doing. The army is rising. And by the way, the dry bones in the valley, when they finally heard the word of God, they stood up what? An exceedingly great army. So, you know, this is madness. They want to make an example of you because you went to prison. I don't think no man should beat a woman. Not one of us. Now, I smacked my wife once. She smacked me back, and I ain't never hit that woman again. And we've been married 61 years. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes a man can't handle a woman. Most of them are smarter. They study us. Mm-hmm. And they can push a button with their tongue that will make you want to go to Nut City.
Absolutely.
But don't do it. Mm-mm. Don't beat your woman. She is your second self. We got to honor and respect her and lift her. But look at this. My mother whipped me. And she would ask me, did I do A or B, and I would lie. So she would beat me for what I did.
And beat you for lying.
Then beat me for lying.
Yes,
and there was a little West Indian woman from Barbados who used to visit my mother. And when they thought I was asleep, of course, I was listening. So my little, I call her a mama from Barbados, she said to my mother, yeah, Maisie, you know, I was beaten Donnelly behind, and the boy crying out like I was killing him, and the neighbor called the police, and the police show up at my door, a big Irish cop. I said, come in. We heard that there was screaming here. She said, yes, I was disciplining my child. And she looked at the Irish cop. She said, did your mother beat you? He said, oh, yes, ma'am. He said, you see that stick upon your side and that gun upon your hip? I beat in mine today, so you won't have to beat him with that tomorrow. So I want you stand there while I beat him ras. Mm-hmm. And she got that boy out from under the bed and beat the hell out of him in the presence of the police. Mm-hmm. So how the hell you gonna tell me I can't beat my child, but if I do anything, and even before I do it, you pull that damn stick out and rub it all over my head and take this to the court and show them the back of black men and women beaten on the plantation. What the hell was that? Don't let these people tell you you can't do when that's all they do. But don't mistreat your children. Don't beat them out of anger and frustration. But sometimes a good spanking helps. Mm-hmm. So these white people, man, they tell you, you shouldn't hit, you shouldn't do this. That's why your children ain't worth a damn.
What about teachers beating kids in school?
Now they beat me. Mm. When I was coming up, there was corporal punishment. Mm-hmm. They had what they call a rattan. It was like a small piece that looked like bamboo, and they soaked it in water. And if I did something wrong, they'd take me in the dressing room, and I had to put my hands out, and they would beat my hands with that rattan. Yeah, so look, man, the Bible ain't wrong. Don't spare the rod and spoil the child. If you have to touch them up, go ahead. I've been touched up, and I'm not a bad man. And I touched mine up, and they doing all right. I wouldn't let this man tell me a damn thing about how to raise children. You know how to make a slave. And you made sure you made us afraid of you with what you would do to us violently. So don't you ever talk to us about not spanking our children and then want to bring us into court and shame us for using a switch. What did Grandma say? Boy, go over there and get that switch off the chair, off the tree.
You sound like you from Charleston, South Carolina just now, man.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, one of the biggest misconceptions about you, minister, is, people like to say he hates white people. He hates Jewish people.
Thank you. No, I'm not a hater. I'm not in trouble because I hate. If I was a hater of you, I would have killed a lot of you. Did you hear me? Yes, sir. Go find me anyone that follows me that have killed a white person or a Jew. What's killing you is the truth that's coming out of my mouth. And you would like to pay somebody or get some fool to try and kill me to satisfy you. That's how you do black men that you can't buy and you can't bend. But don't come this way with that thought about killing. So you better think real good about that one. And I'm taking it all the way up to the President of the United States. Think well. Because I'm not here by myself, of myself. There's a God backing me. That's why I can talk like I talk without fear. Then try me and see if there's a real God behind me.
Now, what do you think about the president? Because we all came together.
I was in love with my brother, and I still love him.
Mm-hmm. Even when he denounced you?
Oh, man, if I hated everybody that denounced me, I would be in bad shape. People denounce me because it makes them available to white people. I want a job, man. If I denounce Farrakhan, they may let me in. It was Hillary that pressed Barack to denounce me. He didn't want to denounce me. So remember now, your time is coming, Miss Clinton. See how you take it. We are not voting for white people just to vote. You better put your vote in your pocket unless they can show you that they're worthy of it, not by playing some saxophone. If you can't get justice, you can't get my vote. If you can't help me to be better than what I am, you can't get my vote. And that's the way we're going to teach black people all over America. This election season, you're not going to use us like that.
But how do we trust them, though? Because they're going to come.
You can't trust them.
You know they're going to come out and talk about police reform and tell us everything we want to hear.
What police reform?
Exactly.
Do body cameras.
Oh, good.
That's what they say.
Oh, yeah. And then, hold up just a minute. I know you. Yeah, but it looks that way that we shot the man all these times in the back. It just looks that way. But you got to be patient till all the facts are in. But you looking at murder.
We watching the video, yeah.
Understand? No, brother. Ain't no such thing as training a racist mind to love you better. Don't let them sell you that mess. Do you know what's really going on? In 1956, Elijah Muhammad was in a debate with Mr. J.B. Stoner, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And Mr. Muhammad was tearing him up, you know. And then in the next round, Mr. Stoner said, one day soon, we won't be wearing this robe and this little dunce hat. He said, we'll be in the police department. We'll be judges. We'll be prosecutors. We'll be bankers. But we'll all have the same mind that we have with these uniforms on. Thurgood Marshall, was he not our first black member of the Supreme Court? Before he left, before he died, he said, the Klan used to wear white. Today, they're wearing black. What did he mean? That the same racist mind that was in that little silly man down in Georgia and Alabama and Indiana, Tennessee, now they're in the police department. They're in the judge's seat. So now a man, what the heck? You got a gun in your hand. A man, you say you didn't know what he had in his hand, so you shot him. Do you know what would happen if black people started acting like white police?
World War III.
Look at this. Just try this picture on. I'm a black man, but I own a pistol. I see a white man coming toward me in blue. I say, oh my God. I'm terrified. What's that he has in his hand? I can't. I go to court. Well, look, I'm afraid. These white people have been killing us ever since we've been in America. So I had my pistol and I was just afraid for my life. Try it on. I bet you wouldn't get to first base saying that. Well, why would we let them get home with that? Man, we got to wake up as a people. Thank you for allowing me on your show, brother.
No, we appreciate it.
Wow, man.
I do got one more. I got like two more questions. That's
Okay,
all.
but I mean, I've never spoken like that.
No.
No, serious. No.
This is good.
Yeah, when Kanye was on the Breakfast Club, he said he's doing a documentary about you because he wants to help change some of the misconceptions about you.
Oh, but tonight may have really put those misconceptions back. But I'm just telling you, I don't hate Jews, nor do I hate white people. I hate what they do when they don't treat us right. And that person is the person we deal with. That's not bad. All white people haven't done that. But I say to white people, look, you didn't do it. They say, yeah, that's right. We didn't have nothing to do with slavery. Yeah. But because of slavery, when you immigrants came here, America was already built with the blood, the sweat of my ancestors. So you got what you got because your fathers gave us what they gave us. And since you got here, America has been the American dream for you, coming out of Europe, coming out of Italy, Germany, Russia, wherever you came from. This is your heaven, but it has been our hell. So when Harry Belafonte was with Dr. King, and Dr. King looked very melancholy and sad, Harry Belafonte went to him and said, Martin, why are you so melancholy? Everybody else seems to be in such good spirit, you know. And Mr. Belafonte said that Dr. King said, I fear that I am integrating my people into a burning house. So all those of you who are thinking about 10-10-15, the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, and you would like to come and join us. It's not Farrakhan alone, it's black pastors, I may lose them, I don't know, with this broadcast. But if I lost you, I never had you.
Mm.
If I gained the youth, I got it all. And that's what God said, if you remember, with those old people who loved Egypt. And when Joshua spied out the new land, the old ones said, we're not going in as long as them giants are in there. So you go and get them giants out of that land and we'll go in. God didn't like that. So he allowed them to wander in the wilderness for 40 years until the elders died out. And he said, I'll take your children and they will inhabit the promised land. In the last day of Dr. King's life. I want you to remember, brothers and sisters, they didn't kill Dr. King because he had a dream. Excuse me. Somebody sending me a note. Didn't I say he died peacefully? Maya?
Dutch Schultz.
Oh, Dutch Schultz. It was Maya Lansky. Oh, they was cousins.
Yes,
Thank you for correcting me, brother. No, Dutch Schultz was killed.
yes, sir. My Lansky was the book.
But Maya Lansky was a heck of a criminal, and he died peacefully. Mm-hmm. But let me get to my point now. The night that my brother gave his last speech, this is what they quote. Tonight, I'm not fearing any man because I've been to the mountaintop and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but we as a people will get to the promised land. In that year of his life, he talked against the war in Vietnam. The government was angry with him. But let's back up on that same night. This is what he said to his audience. He said, we don't need to talk bad. We don't need to shoot guns or throw Molotov cocktails. Elijah Muhammad said the same thing. All we need to do is come into unity and fire the cannon of our unity. Dr. King said, when we are in pain, we have to redistribute the pain. What do you mean, Dr. King? He said, tonight in Memphis, he said, don't buy Coca-Cola in Memphis. Don't buy Seal Test ice cream in Memphis. He said, what's the name of that bread, Jesse? Then he said, Wonder Bread. And the other bread, Heart's Bread. He said, don't buy it. Once we are in pain, let's redistribute the pain. Not with Molotov cocktails. But we have $1.3 trillion coming into our hands that they want in their pockets. If we deny it to them, we will give them pain. Dr. King was telling us, take your money out of the white man's bank and put it in your own bank. We have insurance companies here in Memphis. They go and take out insurance with your own. Then he was killed. That same night, they were plotting on his life. And they killed him. And after they assassinated him, they started doctoring his image because they wanted to leave us with Martin Luther King as a dreamer. So everything they said about him was his speech in '63, but not his speech in '67 and '68. Can I read you what he said to SCLC in 1967, 5 months before he was assassinated, maybe 6 or 7 months. Hurry and bring it to me, brother.
Got you, man.
I want to quote something from our brother. And I would hope that you young brothers who only know Dr. King as a dreamer, I have a dream, but he woke up. His dream was a nightmare. Listen to what he said. And I'd like to give you young people an assignment. If you're coming to the 20th anniversary, I want you to take some time and read the speeches of Martin Luther King in the last year of his life. And Martin Luther King will grow you up into a reality. And then we who are alive today will take you where we believe Dr. King would have taken you. Remember, I spy the promised, not sky, land. Listen to this. Dr. King was quoting Victor Hugo. And Victor Hugo said, if the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. The guilty one is not he who commits the sin, but he who causes the darkness. The policymakers of the white society have caused the darkness. This is Dr. King. They created discrimination. They created slums. They perpetuate unemployment, ignorance, and poverty. It is incontestable and deplorable that Negroes have committed crimes, but they are derivative crimes. They are born of the greater crimes of the white society. But there's another sentence here that should be with this. When he said that the crimes that black people commit in a few days of rioting sinks into nothingness when you consider the hardened criminal activity that is used against our people. So I want to thank you, brother, and thank you, Brother Charlemagne, and my sister. What is your name?
Angela.
Angela. I hope that I didn't, disturb the peace of this beautiful breakfast club. I can't apologize for telling the truth, but I'm filled with passion and hurt because I don't want us to pass on this condition to another generation that have to argue and fight with white people for nothing. If we're going to fight for something, let's get some of this earth that we can call our own. And remember, they promised us 40 acres and a mule. And there was only 4 to 5 million of us then. Now think over 40 acres with 5 million people. That's 200 million acres of land. Not with a mule today, but with
I'll take the land. They can keep the mule.
Yeah, we'll take the tractors.
Yeah.
But the point is, every promise they made to us, they reneged on it. So can we listen to their words and believe? I don't think so. Whatever we can get through the power of our unity, that you can believe in, because with our unity, we'll never have to fire a shot. Our unity will be able to give us the power to exercise that will get us the justice that we seek.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
May Allah
There
bless
you have it.
Absolutely.
The Breakfast Club, the Honorable
Minister Louis
Minister
Farrakhan.
Louis Farrakhan.
10-10-15.
That's right.
Just start the Farrakhan, that sensei, nigga. Told him I've been on 10 since the 10th grade, nigga. Got a middle finger longer than the Kim, baby.